scared of Jason. Just a simple trap will dash his killing spree. First I'll pick a fight, and once I've got him chasing, he'll trip on my trap, and when I hear it snap, I'll walk away scot-free. Ah! Oh!
Hiding here indoors and searching for a weapon. Just a simple knife or baseball bat will do. Planks or broken oars or something sharp to step in. I'd kill for a gun, and if I got me one, I'd come and I'd kill you.
Couldn't find the keys or calling Tommy Jarvis. Hadn't seen the fuse, a boat or even gas. Can't alert police, and Jason's gonna carve us. No clue where they are, but I could use a car, 'cause Jason's on my Up to Jason's hut to steal his mother's sweater. Sounds like certain death and obnoxiously contrived.
Jason, kick her butt. She's using me, don't let her. It's all just a car, poke it off her head.
Wait, Jason, come on, please don't make me die.
Suddenly, into
Let
mom.
me just instead survive. Dropped about to die, so disconnect from the game.
Hello? Hello? Someone there? I can't feel my legs. My phone's in my pocket. I left my phone in my pocket. I was gonna lose my daily bonus. Oh, whew. I should really get help for my addiction.
Thank you to R Wrench and the Sequoia.
Hey, everybody!
Hello.
Happy St. Gertrude of the Niles Day. Is that what they were called? Naviles. Gertrude of the Niles. I
There's
don't
only
know.
one Nile.
I'm not familiar with St. Gertrude myself, to be honest. But I heard everybody's talking about St. Patrick, but we all forget St. Gertrude of Naviles. We shouldn't, because that's the patron saint of cats. Wow, you'd think I know these things, but I married a woman that knows these things. And I get to hear about it. And then I try to tell you guys about it. Welcome to Replayed. Man, it's been a hot minute, hasn't it?
It's been, a couple weeks. We were at a convention, and we obviously uploaded the panel, one of the panels
That's
that
true.
we hosted
I hope you watched it.
last week. I hope it was fun and enjoyable.
I would say we haven't seen them in a while, but we've seen some of them.
We've seen some
We
of them
have
in
seen some of
person.
you. Yeah, that's almost scarier than seeing you online. Or maybe scarier for you to see us. I don't know. Whichever the fact, we're done scaring you guys for a little bit. We're going to just hang out online again.
It's because we're so tall in person, right? Secretly,
Obvious.
we're all
Right.
over 6 feet tall.
We're obvious. Yes, very, very over 6 feet. So today we're going to do a comments live stream, obviously, about Friday the 13th, the musical. But before we get started, we have a couple replayed staples we have to get out of the way. First, we got a couple moderators in this. I was like, patron saints of replayed in the chat.
Congratulations,
You all get
Ross.
holidays as well.
We have patrons to announce later, but
Oh, we do. So please respect our moderators. We love them very much. In fact, one of them sent us an email this week with a bunch of trains that they were suggesting we might be able to make Choo Choo Charles in. I'm not sure that we went over the list. I'm not sure it's going to happen. But you know what? There was a really cool Choo Choo Charles music video from the Stupendium that came out today, I saw. So there you go. You can go watch Choo Choo Charles over on the Stupendium's channel. Random Encounters, unfortunately, still working on another musical, but
are we?
Yes.
Yeah. Couple? We're actually working on several.
We're trying to work on things.
It's been difficult.
It's, the computer
Real
problems
difficult.
we've had,
We got back the wrong computer from Apple this week. Or it's the right computer, but it's been stolen
Yes,
out of?
the computer is doesn't
They
have
won't tell
the
me.
same RAM in it that it had when we brought it to them.
Somehow it
So
magically
either they
turned into
stole
something.
our RAM and put new RAM in that we didn't want.
Bad RAM.
Bad
It's
RAM.
not
or they just
good
gave
RAM.
us the completely wrong computer. Either way,
Someone else has bad RAM,
that's
and
a
now they have
conversation
really great
for
RAM.
a different time.
Anyway, so yeah, we are working on musicals. I'm not even sure we're going to give you a hint again still today because I just don't know what we're going to have come out next. But we are working on several projects. But today we're going to focus on an older project, Friday the 13th. Who do we got for Patreon today? We
Well,
need to say
we haven't
thank you to
announced
some-
any names for the past 2 weeks because, so we're going to go through 14 names really quick.
All right. Where's
got-
Hockey Mask?
Jens Banning.
Has
That's
a lake
one.
named after
Number
them. It's
2,
haunted.
Tyler Ogawa.
Tried to defeat Jason with a pickle.
Number 3, Anthony Mushrow.
Is actually a serial killer.
Number 4, Ariel Ivory.
Would wear Jason's mother's sweater. And other things.
Number 5? I can't keep track. Squeamers.
Drove a car and ran over their friends.
Number 6,
But escaped.
Michelle Kushner.
Michelle Kushner is really bad at the game Friday the 13th.
Number 7, Sam the Scotsman.
Was born on a Friday the 13th.
Number 8, Laurie Flynn.
Probably not, actually. Has a child that wears a sack over its head and kills people.
Number 9, O.S. Riddle.
Sorry if that's the first time you've learned that. Tripped on their own bear trap and died.
Number 10, Maltonio.
That sounds like a Maltonio thing to do. Actually, that does.
Number 11, Kimberly Film Lover.
Found the keys and escaped with Tommy Jarvis.
Number 12, Jake Owens.
Oh, Jake Owens almost didn't make it in. Came out of the lake and probably smelled bad because the lake is gross. You should
Full
stay
of
out of.
ducks.
Yeah, especially the
poop.
lake we were filming at.
Duck poop.
It was
Number
a very poop lake.
13,
They were like, "This is a duck poop."
Luncheteer.
lake.
Also has a beard.
Plays Best Fiends and has a serious addiction.
And number 14, Sarah T.
Tried to kill all their friends and just couldn't manage to. It's a very unsuccessful serial killer.
Wow. It's
There you go. Thank you all for putting up with that. And thank you all for backing the channel. We really appreciate all of our Patreon encounters. Wow. You're our patron saints.
Jimmy's been drinking again.
It's just been a stressful day.
Well, you know what helps alleviate stress? Meme time.
Meme time.
Meme time.
Where you throw up a meme right on top of it.
Blah!
Oh, there it is. Oh,
There's
it's
a
all over
meme.
me.
Ooh, I'm here twice.
You know, we had a lot of memes that came in the few weeks we were gone, so we had like 17 or something probably to choose. I don't know.
lot.
It
That
was
was a lot.
It
A lot
was
to choose from.
a cornucopia of laughter.
Giggles and teas,
Giggles,
titters,
teas.
and
Well, this one is
chuckles
from
and
Cats and Books of
chortles.
Life. So,
There you go.
I just felt like it was A, it made me smile, and B, it's super fitting because of Friday the 13th and the number of deaths in this musical.
You gotta watch all
people
them
just
bodies.
Eat it left and right.
Yeah, but people all die off screen. I feel like you're the only one that we actually see afterward.
I mean,
It's true. Was
Nido
everything-
die, so.
Sparrow technically gets hit by a car on screen.
Yeah, but you don't like.
Yeah, and
see-
Peter
she gets,
like steps on
knocked
it,
off
but we don't
screen.
see. Yeah. Yeah,
You
there's
don't
an
see
awful
the
lot
body
of I jump out a window, but I'm not dead, and yeah, Gwen's the so anyway, there you go. If
Anyway.
you want to participate in meme time, you can make some random encounters memes and share them over on our Reddit page, and follow us on other social media if you just want updates like me complaining about that Apple Store, because that happened over on Twitter today or this week. All right, so we're gonna take some of your comments and questions as well about Friday the 13th today, but we've also polled 10 of our favorites plus a bonus one because we love bonus things. And we're going to answer/respond to a bunch of them today. And it's just a fun time to talk about a musical that I know a lot of you actually really like. So
Did you already tell them that we're going to be answering questions from the chat too?
Yeah, I think you
I
did.
sort of
Okay.
touched on
If you want to help me see it, putting the word question in all caps will be very helpful. And
That'd be
I'm
helpful.
collecting them. I'm hoarding them. I will intersperse them through what's going on.
that'll be one
It
of
has
our
to be
Patreon
relevant
titles
to
in
the
future.
musical, though. It can't
Yes.
be about.
What did you have for lunch today?
Yeah, so.
A hamburger. Not helpful. Not relevant.
Great. Shall
Alrighty.
we begin?
We shall. It's time.
Number 10.
Okay.
Jonathan Asbury. Wait, I don't remember Jason Voorhees having a beard.
Oh.
This comment was, I wasn't the only one to leave this comment. Yeah, Devin didn't shave for that. I feel like, I don't know if we didn't even ask him to, but we probably should have.
Yeah, I was
He's very protective of his beard.
He shaved his head. I think we didn't specify the beard, but yeah, he really doesn't like to shave his beard. And he was willing to do it once for us as Gary Oak, and he was never again, no more.
We might have been working under the assumption that you might not see it it's dark and it
Yeah.
might have gone under it, but yeah, it clearly just, you know.
The point is, we got to set. We didn't have a razor, and we said it's fine. It doesn't really matter. Like there was a mask, and then we saw the footage after. Like, okay, well, Jason kind of has a beard. It's a little different, but serial killers often do, right? Is that a thing?
Not Jason.
Okay, well,
I don't actually
other
know
serial
serial killers that have beards.
Copycats that dress up as Jason Voorhees and murder people in the woods probably have a beard. I'm a judgmental
You
person.
know, considering the killer in Friday the 13th, Part 5 is a copycat killer, I don't think he has a beard.
So a canon, no. All right, but this is a question I'm going to open up to the chat and to you guys as well. Are beards suspicious? Do you find beards suspicious? Do you find beards
Not
suspicious?
inherently,
I feel like
no.
you and I have talked about this before,
Yeah.
and the answer is no. I grew up with a dad that has a beard. Beards just look like friendly dads. Like,
See, I grew up afraid of people with beards. I was like, people with beards I don't trust. There's something about them. They're hiding more of their face, like a weird, like a Western bandana, like that.
Or maybe they're like, my face is ugly. I want to hide the ugliness.
I know, like Santa Claus has a beard, and I didn't think Santa Claus was. No, maybe I did. I don't know because it's a beard still. I'm like,
Well, I
what
don't
is he
trust
hiding?
him. I don't trust him for other reasons. He sneaks into people's houses at night.
All right, let me know in the chat. Are beards suspicious?
should,
Because I just have a weird little like I don't
I
know.
think-
I'm gonna make it official.
I think you're
This is
just
gonna be a poll.
profiling.
I maybe, but
You're like Ostotska, any person with a beard.
Well, I mean, children don't have beards.
Well,
Women don't have beards.
unless they're in the circus.
Women are
some
very
women don't
suspicious
have beards.
sometimes.
Most women, I might even say, don't have beards. So a lot of humans on the planet do not have a beard, and plenty of men don't have beards. Also, the people you put on the kids shows, like Steve from Blue's Clues, or some man in a more recent show people have actually seen, don't have beards.
Blippy.
So I'm just saying.
But
there's
I
an
don't
awful
trust
lot-
Blippy either.
There's an awful lot of people that don't have a beard, and it makes you, I think, inherently, supposedly, more approachable or friendly or younger or something that
I
makes
think
you.
it makes you look younger so that Steve from Blue's Clues can look like he's 15 for like 20 years.
Yeah, and you can believably like, oh, this guy doesn't know where his dog behind him is because he's only like 12 anyway.
can't grow a
If he was
beard.
a full-grown man who like paid rent and stuff, we'd expect him to know exactly where his dog is at all times. Okay, I'm gonna comment number. Do the chat agree with me or with you guys?
Oh, they're still voting,
He's got a pole.
but it's not going your way.
What? You guys don't think beards are suspicious?
I think you're just profiling people with a beard.
Comment number 9 from Blue Venus. AJ, I can't feel my legs. Also, AJ, plays a video game instead of calling 911. Priorities, man. Daily bonus.
Gotta get that daily.
Don't want to
bonus.
lose the daily bonus.
I was remembering after filming this musical, I didn't play this game until we had to load this game on my phone to do the teaser for this musical, which we filmed literally the same night as the musical. It was a very back-to-back long shoot.
It was
but
intense.
Anyway, and then I was like super addicted to it for a year. Like every chance I got, my phone was open playing this stupid game for a year, and it wasn't until my phone just died and I had to replace it that I finally broke it and was like, all right, I just won't download it again.
It
I
wasn't
just
until
won't
Gordon
download it
Ramsay
again.
and his diner dash
Hey!
came into her life.
I just like that Gwen's phone like sacrificed itself. It's like, we have to help break the addiction. We will do what it takes. Now she can't play it. Priorities. Best Fiends is a really fun game.
It is.
It is very easy to get hooked on if you haven't. And I somehow believe a lot of you have probably been hooked on it at one point or another.
I feel like I've seen some people in the chat today
Yeah.
saying this musical caused an addiction.
Yeah, there's a reason that we accepted not 1 or even 2, but I think 3 different sponsored deals with them. It's a fun game.
Leo D. Leod? Whatever. In the beginning, is that Baldy playing Friday the 13th?
Ah!
I heard in the beginning, God created Baldy, and Baldy was in Friday the 13th.
That's me.
That was you, huh?
Welcome to my campgrounds.
That would be much more poorly run, which is really saying something given they have a serial killer running loose killing people. But yeah, how would it change if Baldy had been in this musical? I mean, he still would have hit someone with a car. Let's just be real. That would definitely.
It would have been sweeping time in there. They'd be sweep, sweep,
Yeah,
sweep.
driving with him.
I feel like we're missing, though, that this musical came out before Baldy. I believe before
Yes.
the
Yeah,
game
it's
even
true.
existed. So
Yeah.
really, this is Baldy's origin story. He ran from Jason, and now he's in a school
Traumatized.
traumatizing small students.
Beautiful. There you go. It all comes full circle. Baldy and Friday the 13th musical. It's canon now. Got a nice costume change though in between.
That's right.
Yeah. What do we have in the chat?
Ashley Wheeler wants to know, where did we film this? It looks like it's on a set, but it is very nice.
Why, thank you. I wish we could make a set this nice. This was filmed at a campground called, what is it? Something in the Sequoias.
It's like R in the Sequoias
Yeah,
or something like
yeah,
that. It's
R
in
in
the
the
description
Sequoias.
of the musical, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we gave them a plug. We have a friend, actually the same friend that recommended hiding the beard on the Chinese food boxes in Man from the Window.
And the same friend that owns the weird, creepy truck in
That's right.
Milano.
So his name is Dan, and Dan, with his wife, Kathy, they own a cabin on this campsite in the Sequoias. And the Sequoias are giant trees in California that are super old and super dense, and they're very cool. And so we drove about 4 hours to go film at that campground and got permission from the person that owns the land and stuff there to basically allow us to use some of the abandoned other cabins and stuff like that as well. And it made it really easy. I don't think there was a way to do this musical otherwise, though. I wouldn't
Probably
know.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Where we could get access
nothing
to a camp like
easier
this.
than making your set look like a campground than just
Just
filming
having
at a
one.
campground. Yeah.
It was so convenient that they had like abandoned cabins that they were like rebuilding. They had a haunted house
They
built
did.
in.
They
one.
literally had one that they were like, oh, we use this every year as a haunted house. It kind of still has weird smears on the walls because we don't clean it up that well since we're just going to use it for a haunted house again. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay.
That's the one that my
That's
scenes
great.
are in. Yeah, that one is the one that they turned into a haunted house.
Yeah, and the basement of that is where my scenes are.
Right, with the severed head.
The very low ceilings.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, it was
yes.
real intense. It made Jason look huge though, right?
It did.
Like Devin legit had to like crouch to get through there. What
Yeah.
else do we have from the chat? Good question, by the way.
Rebecca Skocraft wants to know, which stunt scene took the longest to film or the most special effects to achieve?
I would have said the car, but I don't think we had to do that many takes of the car.
I don't think so, but it did require quite a bit of setup because all the lights had to be in the right place, and then of course it had to be done safely.
And then
do
we
try
like
really hard not to murder
accidentally
our
pushed
actors.
like the OnStar button and
Yes, yes.
we had to- I feel like somebody
the
actually got a
bloopers?
hold of it.
Pretty
They might
sure.
have, and we were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no, stop talking to us.
That was also the one that security pulled up in the middle of
Yeah.
trying to shoot and was questioning what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it had the most special effects because I don't think there was actually too much effect for any of the other shots. That one though did
Not
need
really.
like a card sped up or something. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. So, yeah, across the board, there weren't actually any stunts that were particularly difficult, except for how do you actually drive a car through here? Because we could have used just a digital car in post production and kind of faked it, and we were like, no, we can have an actual car come through here, and she still, I think, was not there when the car went by, so we had to match footage,
Yeah.
but we wanted to drive a physical car through that shot. So I think Devin had to hold still really well and things like that.
I do want to say, just because we were watching the musical here kind of silenced at the beginning of this stream, and I do have a lot of questions about how much those stunts are really sound effects. If we just tricked you into thinking things happened because you heard them happen.
AJ really jumped out a window. Though.
I did really jump out a window. That's a
But
real window, and I really jumped
It
out
was
of
a cheat. It was a window that was like
the ground floor.
this far off the ground because
Yeah,
it was like on
it's
a
really-
hillside and the ground floor.
Yeah, it's a really low window.
and then we
actually.
just pretended it was a second floor.
Yeah, and then we went and found a second floor window.
Inverse Sky wants to know, were there any scenes that you wanted to put in the musical but couldn't for any reason whatsoever? I feel like this question comes up a lot, and the honest truth is I don't know how often we plan a scene that we completely scrap.
This one was difficult because there's only so many ways you can kill yourself accidentally in Friday or on purpose in Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And I think we hit all of them. Is there anything that was like an obvious like this is a way you can make your character die if Jason
It's been
doesn't kill
so
you?
long since I've played that
Yeah.
game. But yeah, these are all based on actual ways that you can pretty much accidentally kill yourself in the game.
Or get killed by another player.
Or get killed by another player.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's true. Somebody did point out that like stepping on a bear trap doesn't kill you in the game.
If you already
If
were
you are
weak-
low enough health,
Yeah.
If you are low enough health, these things will kill you. Like a bear trap won't instantly kill you. Jumping out a second story window doesn't actually instantly kill you. It hurts you a lot and you're limping a lot.
Gotcha.
But,
So it would take you to have to have gotten pre.
but you can get hit by another a player driving a car.
Yeah.
So that's a thing.
Can you
And
drown in a lake? I was wondering if that's one that we
I
considered.
think you might be able to because I think you have a stamina bar. And
Yeah.
I think you can run out of stamina and drown.
So that's probably the closest answer is if we had been brave enough to be in a lake and do a fake drowning scene in the dark.
We're told that we couldn't go in the lake because there was one lake there, and he said it had a lot of the ducks poop in it a lot.
Yeah, apparently
it's-
duck poop is weirdly toxic.
Yeah, it's like really don't
expected-
swim in that lake.
Yeah, I expected any gross amount of poop to be bad for your health. So I'm glad we didn't do a scene in there like that. But I think we decided even before we left we weren't going to film something like that. The song only had so many verses.
Yeah, and plus we were trying to do it all in one night, so getting someone completely soaked and then having to,
Yeah,
dry
yeah.
them off and all that,
Okay.
it would have eaten time, just eaten
Yeah.
it.
Great question. Thank you.
Before we move on, I
Sure.
will close our poll on whether or not beards are suspicious.
Yeah, I'd like to know.
And I will let you
How
know
suspicious
that
are they?
61% of people said they would hug a beard.
What? You'd hug a beard?
Hug the beard itself.
I was just like, I would hug the beard. Not just a beard, but the beard. Yes, I would. All right. I will take the L on this one, okay?
Okay.
What are we up to?
Number 7 from
right.
Big Sleepy Boy.
Big Sleepy Boy.
A Big Sleepy Boy.
All right.
The thing that bugs me is that the trap doesn't even close when he steps on it.
Well,
You know, this is back in the day before we had a good working bear trap. We had
it's a cake tin.
it's a cake tin with some tinfoil
Yeah.
teeth on it.
Which, like, we used a lot. We used
did.
that for, like, all 3 grannies, I want to say.
It made us a lot of money.
Yeah,
no matter how badly made it
Hello
was.
Neighbor.
It worked. It worked just fine with enough acting. Baldy, I feel like it was on the Baldy's camping trip one.
Yeah, it might have been. We only very
Yeah,
recently got like
It,
a legit.
it had its
Yeah.
swan song
Legit.
in Granny 3.
Yes.
I think
He sat on
when
it.
my big rumpus sat on it, and I think we knew we were gonna get a new one anyway. So I think we
Yeah.
were like, "Yeah, sit on it."
Oh,
whatever.
but I like that shot. That shot looks great.
Yeah.
Like with that time of the music and then your reaction.
Yeah.
Like I'm really glad.
But Gwen made us a really nice one using a tutorial online that we.
Nate and I looked at her like I just can't.
I was like, I
follow
can't
this.
figure this out.
I don't know what's happening.
But yeah, we used that one starting in 2. 2, I think,
Yeah.
is the first one
Yes.
that uses that.
And it's
that one
really
does
nice.
close.
It does.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt at all. It's made completely out of foam. It is powered by rubber bands, so it, like, snaps shut, but it doesn't have, like,
Yeah,
a ton of force.
soft. It's squishy.
Um,
It's a squishy bear
I
trap.
highly recommend. I'm pretty sure I just found it by just like Googling foam working bear trap. And
10 out of 10 feels way better when it closes on you than a real bear trap.
Well, those ones are
Yes.
illegal.
Fair
They don't
enough.
sell those bear traps anymore.
Yeah, that's part of the reason we don't have one. I think actually, it's weird. It's really dangerous to be like otherwise.
At some
people
point,
would step on a real
they
one.
decided it was cruelty to animals to have
Kind of is.
gigantic teeth go into their legs.
Go
Like,
figure.
I don't think that's okay.
Yet it happens all the time in horror movies.
And cartoon shows.
Yeah.
And video games. All the time in video games. You'd never believe how often video games use these until you're making musicals about them and you're like, I need another bear trap. Wow. Comment number 6 from Sylvia Van Alf. That was one smooth jump out the window. Did you manage it immediately or did it take several shots? Took a couple shots. And did you make the severed head or did you buy it?
Okay, but we're gonna loop back around to that first half in a second because there's
Yeah.
a ton of people in the chat asking for specifics on how exactly you jumped out a window.
All right, so the
don't-
severed head. Unless you want to.
The severed head, I took it from someone. The severed head is 2 components. It's
I do like
one.
your question is, did you make the severed head? Like,
made the
oh, I
severed-
made that
I
head
grew it
severed.
myself.
Trust me.
It was 2 pieces. It was a mannequin, styrofoam-like mannequin head that you put wigs on.
Go get one.
We have a bunch of them. He's gonna go get one. And the other half was I believe, just like a generic zombie kind of mask.
I want to say yes.
Yeah, that we cut a lot of the hair out of because I feel like it had like long gray hair.
Mm-hmm.
So we cut the hair to make it shorter. And
Oops.
wow.
That didn't work.
A mannequin head. There you go. You should have grabbed the one that I drew the creepy eyes on.
I didn't grab that one.
So yes, this covered in just a latex mask that like you would wear as a costume.
Well, the mask was also funked up as well.
Oh,
It
yes.
was like covered in like slime and like frosting, I think.
I think there was some makeup involved. I feel
Yeah.
like I remember
Either
seeing
way,
that.
it was slimy and gross, and it stayed in a bag in our garage for like a year before somebody was like, "Why do we still have this?"
It's gone now.
Yeah,
Yay.
it's been gone.
That was
like all-
just a white
It's like
circle.
all blown up.
Jump scare.
Anyway, and the window. I mean, I don't know how you're looking for like the technicality of how do you jump out a window. I mean, it seems pretty obvious. You open it, it creates a hole, and then you jump through it.
Okay, so let's start with
Yes.
AJ is a very committed, semi-athletic human being,
Yes.
and he
Semi-committed. I should be
as his age
semi-committed.
goes up, that goes down.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
if you've seen like the Fruit Ninja musical or like the old Don't Let Me Go musical or anything like that, you know AJ likes to jump around and do flips and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
I do.
AJ jumping out a window is, I would say, like a 4 on the difficulty scale.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He'd just do it for fun.
Yeah, so it's not the drop that's a problem. It's the trickiness of you turn around away from one person and try to target through a square that's about like this. So it's important to actually like aim correctly and not just run your head straight into a pane of glass above it.
Correct me
Or
if
a
I'm
wall next
wrong.
to it.
Wasn't there also like a little bit of a nail sticking out one
There
of the
was.
sides of it?
Yes.
It was actually the bottom. There's a
okay.
nail, and
We didn't have a hammer or anything. So.
I'm pretty sure I caught my pants on it on one of the jumps and ripped my pants a little bit.
I feel like
so.
we took that out somehow for one of the takes later, because I
We
feel like
might
you
have, yeah.
said, "Hey, that caught me," and I feel like I
It's
remember.
I would
taking
do it again, but I don't want to tear the rest of my pants off in the shot. So we took.
But
the
that
nail
would be
out.
funny. That would be comedy. He jumps out the window away from
Just leave
Jason,
it-
and
Jason
his pants
grabs the
rip off.
pants. Yeah, that would have been actually pretty funny.
Okay, but
Missed
so
opportunity.
AJ is part of the magic. He jumps out the window. The other part of the magic is the cameras trick you into making you think that the windows were the same window when they were in fact not. The window that
Yeah.
AJ jumped out of was literally a foot or less off the ground.
Yeah, it's
so
like-
he
it
just
was
kind
like
of tucked and rolled
Yeah.
on the way out. No big
Ah!
deal. The window that Jason looks out of is a second-story window that is actually around on the other side of the house that we just filmed at a different time and made you think it was the same.
Movie magic.
Yeah. You can do these stunts yourself. What you were actually missing is probably a good window to jump through. And it is. We are very lucky that that window was so dang low and it was fairly big.
It's because the house was
Yes.
built on like a hillside,
Yeah.
so
Nice.
like it worked.
Yeah.
It worked extremely well.
I'm gonna hand that off to you.
This is for me. Where are we? Aha! Samurai fax. I expected that to be a fox. Instead, it's a fax machine.
All facts, no printer.
At least this was. I'm sorry. At least they were subtle about the promotion. Other channels are like, "Play this. I'm being paid to say this." We did that with the other Best Fiends game.
Yeah, sometimes we just specifically say we're paid to say this. Yeah, not on that one. That one we tried to be a little more subtle.
I think we enjoy finding fun ways to advertise different things. I feel like the one in Just Monica is super fun. The one, super fun. It's creepy and Monica-like.
It is a little bit.
I like this one. It's a good integration.
You know, our best integration was the Detective Pikachu.
That was so good.
Amino
That one's
ad.
so good. That is the best advertising we've ever done. Even like, I mean, like Rhythm Thief the musical, and like that's like an example of the people Smash Bros. There are ones that are like sponsored, but that one was like, that's the next level of like we integrated a brand deal into a video that's actually funny.
I feel like it's also one of the first times we sent it back to them, and they were like,
Yeah.
"We love this. No notes.
Don't change anything.
Don't change anything.
Leave it just like
Okay."
Yeah, and here we were like, this is gonna be a problem. So yeah, and that's funny because the other Best Fiends, like of the 3 sponsorships we did with Best Fiends, I'd say this one was about the easiest one because they were pretty much like exactly. I think told them we've got a good spot to do a Best Fiends thing. Would you consider sponsoring this as a joke during this one? And they said, yeah, totally. So that was a really easy one. Song of the Slugs was like the next level up, a little bit more challenging. I still don't think they asked for many changes or anything. It was just more involved. And then the Best Fiends or Favorite Fiends song or whatever, that one was the worst one. They required the most changes over
I
and
wonder
over
if that's
again.
because it was
had the most
going on
rules.
their channel.
Maybe. It also, they had at that point been trying to like do some brand reimaging, and I think that hurt us too. That they were like, don't say this, don't use that, can't have that, and they were making their own series as well. So they're like, don't do anything that's part of that series, and we were like, there's nothing left. I can't do anything. Yeah. So in our perfect world, I think when you talk about like advertising, our favorite version of advertising is a video game company just hires us to make a musical about their game. That is like 100% exactly what we want. The next level down from that is a product placement, essentially, like this one, where you're like, can I cleverly just have a scene where somebody pulls out a thing, maybe makes a mention about it, and then moves on. Love those two. Those are pretty easy to work in. The worst ones are when people ask us, "Can you just spend 30 seconds talking about our thing before the video starts?" And you notice we don't like ever.
We don't do that because
No.
we're narrative. It doesn't make sense to do that.
Who wants to sit through another like ad at the beginning of the video where it's like, before we start the musical, I'd like you guys to check out Best Fiends, or more effectively something like Raid Shadow Legends
I
or
was
something.
gonna say, like, if you watch the Baldi's Basics bloopers, we keep talking about tanks because we weren't sure if we were going to be getting sponsored by World of Tanks. So we're just like, tanks.
It's funny now because you watch it, you're like, I don't understand this. But at the time, we were in talks with them about sponsoring, saying they were really excited about the fact that our Baldi video is blowing up, and we were like, hey, we're gonna do this if you get it approved or whatever, and then they couldn't, and we're like, that's okay, I'm just gonna leave it in.
It gave me
Free
an opportunity
advertising
to
for you
put
guys.
the giant crazy snake
Riding a tank. So there you go. Yeah, I understand some YouTubers have like channels that makes more sense to do like a 60-second opening thing where they're like, let me show you some gameplay from this thing and talk about it, and here's the link. Don't like to do that. Not on Random Encounters.
Did you just say they were excited about how much our Baldi musical was blowing up? So during the bloopers of the Baldi musical, while we were making it, we were saying tanks.
Oh no, yeah, it was before. They're excited about the Granny one.
There's some time travel happening here.
So they must have been excited about how well Granny was doing. We
That
told
makes
them we're
sense.
doing something else that I think is going to do really well.
That makes more sense.
They were
Okay.
like, we'll see if, and we were like, we can't do like Baldi itself, but we could do a blooper video thing that like ties into World of Tanks. And then they were like, not a blooper video. We'd have to do something else.
Tanks.
Tanks. There you go. Little trivia for you guys. Worthless trivia, my favorite kind. What do we got in the chat?
Lots of things. Angel asked, how many times did you guys do the end where Gwen leaves the game? And I actually pulled this specifically because I don't know that I've ever gotten to complain out loud about how we filmed the end of that. But it wasn't technically the very end where I disconnect from the game, but there's a line that's like, Jason, come on, please don't make me dead. That is very simple in the song, except for on the original temp track, me and Jason's mom were going to have overlapping like song lyrics. So when we were filming it, I had to do it while listening to overlapping people singing. And I just remember it being awful and doing like 12 takes of it before I finally got the lip sync right on it.
It was really late too, and you
It was really late.
you start to self-destruct about like 2 a.m. or
I do.
something.
Well, especially back then. I worked a day
Yeah.
job at that point. I remember working really, really hard to get that weekend off in order to come film because it was on location. It had like a 2-hour drive to get there. Had to be done overnight. It was a thing.
You weren't the
I
only
was
one, by the
tired.
way. Yeah, a lot of people were tired. Everybody
I
was
was
like
gonna
operating at half speed or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, by that point, it was just us three.
Was it?
No, because Jason was there for that scene.
Oh, you're right.
It was like one of the,
Yeah.
we sent half the people we were working with on this.
Yeah,
musical
Devin,
home.
I think, had to work maybe the next day or
Yes.
wanted to be home the next day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, after we wrapped everything with him, he left with Peter and Sparrow to go back
Yes.
home
Yeah.
while we finished the rest of any pickups we needed.
Yeah.
And we ended up just staying the night.
Which
at-
was all
Yeah.
your stuff outdoors, wasn't it?
Anything that was only
Yeah.
me on screen, we've saved until after. But
Yeah.
but that scene, Devin was there with us. So it was one of the last things we were filming with everybody. We were rushing, trying to get it done.
Yeah. And you had the
It was-
world's
it was a
hardest
mess.
line.
It was just such a mess. And I remember getting to come, we recorded the actual vocals later. And I was like prepping myself for it, being like, oh, the timing on this is going to be so hard. It's going to be like messy trying to like hear my timing over somebody else's. And I walk in and Asia's like, we fixed it. We're not doing that anymore. And I was just like, dude, why did we do it on set?
Sometimes it's just like everybody likes those sequences where you have like a bunch of characters talking at once, like Friday Night Funkin' the musical. But in the end, it doesn't always make it better. Sometimes it just makes it more like replayable, but not more fun to listen to.
Yeah,
That was a
kinda chaotic.
cacophony kind of moment where like we can do better.
Yeah. The actual disconnect from the game, I don't remember being super difficult. I think we probably did it like 3-4 times.
Yeah.
I do remember one of the times I slid down the wall and totally ripped a giant hole in the back of my shirt,
Yeah,
but
you
it was
did.
fine.
There's a lot of people ripping their clothes in this musical.
There were nails everywhere in that house.
true.
I'm telling you, it was
Yeah.
a nail in the post that I
Everything.
was leaning
Yeah.
against.
Haunted cabins come with a lot of nails sticking out of everything.
We have questions about who played Jason.
Well, that would be
Well,
our
that's
friend Devin.
Devin, yes.
Devin Chenoweth. He also is
Crazy Dave.
Crazy Dave. What's the Gumshoe?
Yes.
Detective
Gumshoe.
Gumshoe in
Phoenix
Phoenix
Wright.
Wright. Gary
Marsh Stomp from Cubone and Mudkip.
That's a throwback.
Big the Cat from
Big
Sonic.
the Cat
Cat.
and the Sonic stuff. Yeah. In fact, we tried to have him back out for what?
Disgaea.
Disgaea, we were. Oh, and we couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, we were gonna have him be
Yeah.
Mizador, but he got COVID, so he
Yeah.
was like, "I'm not coming," and we were like, "That's a good decision."
Love that decision.
It was
Feel
really
better.
sad because it was literally he was supposed to fly out. He was taking the test as like prep to fly out,
Yeah.
and it came back positive, and it was just like a shock. So like within days, we had to call up a person that we thought would fit the same costume as Devin, who, as you've seen in this musical, he is a tall boy. And thankfully, our friend Kevin was able to step in and
He did a great
make
job.
everything work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it
There-
would have been fun to see Devin's version of the character too.
there's an alternate universe where Jason Voorhees plays Mizador, and
Right, that'd
I
be fun.
do want that.
Yeah. So,
We also had a question about who was the voice of Jason's mom.
well, that would be our friend Hayden Davio.
Yes.
How do you say her last name? I should have asked her at some point.
I think it's Davio.
Davio? Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Well,
it's
she's a
Davio.
voice actress, and we first, I think, discovered her, or she discovered us. I don't know who discovered who, but she worked on the original Honey Pop game, and we were so excited that we had an opportunity to connect with her and ask her, would you play a character in a Honey Pop musical? And she said, as long as it's not the same character, I can do that. So, I don't remember the name of her character.
Her character is, I want to say Nikki.
I want to call her, like, thanks for all the pencils.
It's the one that Alou played.
Yeah, the character she voices in the game, I think, is Kiana,
Yeah.
Yes.
and that's the character that Alou plays.
Okay.
And then her character's like Nikki or something, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. She's not
The
old enough
blue-haired
for
one,
drinking.
yeah.
Drinking's technically a crime. So yeah, we talked to her about doing.
Very gently. They, not she.
Sorry, thank you. That is important. They were willing to step in and do a recording for us for Jason's mother, and did an awesome job of it too. We got the recording back. And Peter played with like the filters on to make it a little more
Oh,
ghostly.
it's so badass.
Oh, it was.
Sorry.
I think we can say that right.
What's a badass?
I think we can say that. I think that's okay. It was truly, that's the way I would describe it. It was badass. Yeah, so there you go. That's Hayden did the role of the mother, and Devin did the role of Jason.
Yes. I believe we're back here.
Back here, where do we go?
I was like, we're down to like the last 3, 4?
That's good. We only have 15 minutes.
Wow, time flies.
It really does.
When you're talking about severed heads and leaping out windows. Time flies.
Number 4
Yeah.
from spray paint. Spray paint.
Left in spray paint someplace.
Very
Interesting.
sentient spray paint.
Huh.
I never allowed you to use a clip of me playing.
Which one were
And
you?
me as well. Can you tell the difference? Because I'm terrible at this game as well. I think you're the one that actually ever played it.
Sparrow played it too.
Sparrow
we
and
played
you
a couple
both played
matches
it.
here and there.
Yeah.
I was very competent at this game, I feel like. I do believe a specific...
Very competent.
I there was a player who actually said I was cheating when I was playing as Jason because I was doing so well. I'm like, no, you just suck.
I mean, there's a lot of accusations of people cheating on the internet.
I'm like, I
when
wouldn't
you play
even know
games.
how to cheat in that game. I'm not smart enough to figure that
That's
out.
funny.
I'm just good.
You just have a serial killer's instinct.
That's a terrifying
That's
thing.
right.
That's a compliment. Yeah, Gwen, I don't think has ever played it, and I played like a couple matches. It got brutally murdered, and was like, I'm out.
I don't think the
I'm
game operates anymore. I'm not sure if
What?
it's still up
Yeah.
or not.
Oh no.
They had legal issues with the rights holders of Friday. There was a big battle,
Right.
and I'm not sure if it ever got sorted out or not.
That's fair.
I think it did, but I'm not sure if the game rebounded from it.
Okay. Well, I have a copy of it for Switch downstairs that is like unopened, I think.
I hear they're making a Leatherface game
Oh, cool.
that is going to be asymmetrical as well. I'm like, this sounds like Friday the 13th.
Yeah, it kind of. We got the rights
Which
for other
it
things.
sounds like Dead by Daylight as well.
That's true, and we have talked about doing a Dead by Daylight song. There's actually in our games as musicals like spreadsheet. There's an entry there for Dead by Daylight with an idea next to it. Okay, I've got comment number 3 from Noah Everett Denning. That moment you instantly die from stepping in a bear trap. Depression 100. As Nate said, dying from a bear trap must mean you were already pretty dead.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I mean, yeah.
That's got to be the most depressing way to die.
Instantly
in this game.
dying is pretty aggressive.
That's fair, yeah. It's instant. Like, you must be terrible if a bear
you
trap
stick your
kills you in
face in
one
it?
go. Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine. Like, you like wait for all the like players to get in the lobby, and then the loading and stuff, and then the game starts. You step in a bear trap and just drop dead. It'd be like the game doesn't even. It's not even programmed to do that. How am I out that quick? But that's like the way I play. So
I love that notice how he took out like the first person
Right?
in this musical is like Bear Trap. Nothing
Bear
else has
Trap.
happened. You're perfectly fine.
He looks pretty healthy. I don't know what happened there.
Bear Trap.
It's just Jason's.
The worst is
aura.
that it's his own bear trap. It's one thing
Oh,
to
yeah.
like step in another player's bear trap because you don't know it's there, but to lay one and immediately step into it, it's like, wow.
Yeah. Jason just watched that happen. He's like, I watched that happen. Excellent.
That leads into our second comment from Gabrielle Macias. I'm gonna hope.
Sure.
That feeling when you got victory royale with no kills.
You know, I
Is
wish
that
I
a
could.
Good feeling or bad?
I wish I could say I've ever gotten a victory royale, but I haven't. So I'm gonna take your word for it and assume that that's exactly what it feels like.
I don't know if you're like, woot, well, that's an accomplishment, or if you're like, what did I play? What is this game?
I think we just all have to give a little applause to Gabrielle and assume that they might have gotten a victory royale at some point.
A win's a win.
A win is a win, exactly. Like, I'm not gonna say that there's anything wrong with that. At least you got one. I didn't. But yeah, that's exactly what happens here. Like, Jason's just straight up like, I won the game, but at what cost?
To be fair, if this was the actual game, it should have been notifying him that your player was still alive.
That's a good point. he's got some cleaning up to do. I don't look like I'm gonna be that difficult to come find and kill, though.
Probably not.
Yeah. What do we got in the chat here in the last couple minutes?
Charlie Ann wants to know, were the lyrics difficult to write, and were any parts of the song harder to write than others?
I would say that the biggest challenge with writing the lyrics on this one was that it was so tied into game mechanics. So sometimes you can just make them really generic, but we wanted to reference, for example, during Sparrow's verse, finding the keys for driving away with Tommy Jarvis, or
calling in
Tommy.
Tommy
Yeah,
Jarvis.
you find the keys, you get
The keys are for the car.
gas for the boat, I think. Like,
Yeah.
so like trying to like mention specific things in the game, when the truth is you could play, like a bad player like me could play the game and basically just be like, I hide over and over until Jason kills me, and I don't even like know where to look for anything. So it feels like the game can be incredibly sparse, but we wanted to make sure that because it can be so sparse, we name all of the like specific things that players of the game would appreciate, like knowing we were aware of. That is the hardest thing about it.
Kimberly Film Lover wanted to know if you have a favorite blooper or a favorite part while filming this musical. I'm gonna nominate the pickle immediately.
Oh, the pickle is great. That's true.
But I'm pretty sure there's like a whole section in the bloopers about that stinking
The yodeling
pickle.
pickle.
It's just so good.
We should have taken the batteries out of it.
Okay, but that's like the story of Random Encounters Props. Is like anything that moves on its own or talks on its own or anything like that always acts up. It's always a terrible idea
Ruins
in
everything.
some way.
Every time.
But they're so good in the bloopers.
I feel like I need to go back and watch the bloopers now because I haven't seen them in like forever.
Well, the yodeling pickle is the star of the bloopers. I'm sorry to say, as good as the cast was, the yodeling pickle really steals the show. And it just goes off every time I like picked it up
I
or
imagine.
moved it at all.
Yep.
I drop it on the ground. You hear it yodeling while Jason's trying to like keep I was gonna say a straight face. He doesn't have to, but you could see Devin start laughing quietly, like with the mascot, just like heaving as the yodeling pickle's like from like the floor of the shed, and it's just terrible. It yodeled so much. That's not even a yodeling
It
sound.
yodeled so much.
It yodeled, and it was terrible.
I love that pickle.
There you go. We still have it. And somebody called it out. I saw at least one comment about that being the same pickle that Monty is selling, I think, in kindergarten.
Pretty sure, yeah.
It's true. Yeah, same yodeling
It
pickle.
won't be the last time you see the yodeling pickle.
No, we still have it. The battery definitely doesn't work anymore, though.
Joseph Does Random Things wanted to know, did any of you feel cold while filming outside at night?
Oh, yeah.
Gwen, for sure.
Weren't we?
I get cold easily. I get hot easily too. I don't know. My like area of being comfortable is like this thin. It's really ridiculous.
There's not much of a threshold there.
But we live in Southern California, and for those of you that don't know, it's a desert. And when the sun goes down, there's nothing to hold the heat of the day in, so it all just leaves. We literally end up with like. Am I exaggerating if I say we have a 20-degree difference between day and night?
I think you're underestimating, actually. I
Okay.
think we've had bigger.
So we have very large gaps between what
Yeah.
day feels like and what night feels like. And this was in October. It was up in the mountains. It was, which is still desert, weirdly. Anyway, whatever. It was cold. It was very cold. The weird thing, though, and maybe you can back me up on this because you obviously have filmed in even colder than I have.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes time to film, even as much as you've been dreading it, like leading up to it, being like, oh no, I'm gonna have to take my coat off, I'm gonna have to do the scene, I'm gonna have to be in costume or whatever. When it comes time to film, you're focused on other things and it doesn't feel quite as cold.
I do think that that's true. You can muscle your way through being cold when you're a character. It's in between shots that suddenly you're like, oh, it's so cold.
So cold.
Because you're not in the middle of like doing your line or playing a character. You're also just like, you're moving your body more when you're like, you know, so you're generating heat. When you're standing there, be like, what's the next shot? Hurry up, what's the next shot? That's the problem.
I think we should probably get
To
our number one
comment.
Our
All right.
number one comment.
That one's for you, buddy.
Number one from Toby. Just Toby.
Hi, Toby.
Toby.
This is why I don't go camping.
Because you accidentally kill yourself or your friends?
Yes.
Is that why?
You know, if the movies are to be believed, it is a very frequent happening that people die on
I'll
camping
say this is why I don't go to summer camp specifically.
Fair enough.
No, I've been to summer camp and no one ever died while I was there.
That's
You
good.
know of.
We had one medevac.
They never found the bodies, is what
You
you
know,
say.
yeah, they never found the bodies.
I don't go to summer camp for the food. Can't deal with the food. It's just weird because I've had really good food at summer camps too, but
I don't
more
go there
often than not.
because they're just a waste of my time.
they do cost money. And
Why do I want to go sit in the woods for like 3 months when I can sit in my house for 3
3
months?
months?
oh, that's a really long
camp
summer
were you going to
camp.
for 3 months?
That's summer.
That's being homeless, actually. That's
Oh,
that's not a
All
summer
right, a
camp.
couple weeks, 3 weeks, however long. I don't
It's
know.
usually like a
It's
week.
always-
Yeah.
Only a week.
One week.
Yes. If you're
Of
like
being away.
bougie and rich, your
That's still
parents
too
can
much.
send you for like
Yeah.
3 weeks. But
I was a counselor at a summer camp for a while, and there were some kids that were there like every week for the whole summer. Like we would change like the campers each week, but some of them would sign up and just come back and back and back. I was like, you have lived with me for like 2 months out in a shed in the woods. What are we doing here? You make a lot of friends that way, though.
oh my goodness.
You avoid a lot of serial killers. All right, so that was the top 10 of our favorite comments here.
I see a bonus.
We also pulled a bonus comment here
What?
from Gamer Shadow, which I think you're gonna have to weigh in on this one. Jason is the real victim here.
He just wanted to kill some people.
That's right. Is that such a crime? Like, come on. What do you think? Is Jason the real victim here? I'm thinking like, yes, you can be sympathetic for him, but he is by definition not the victim of the scenario. He is targeting other people. They are the victims.
His backstory implies he's the victim, though.
That's true. He has been victim to other like problems in his life. He had a bad childhood, drowned in a lake or something. Now he's back to kill people.
As you do.
Q. All right, so let us know. Is Jason the real victim here? Gwen, is Jason the real victim here?
I feel bad for him, but I think that's mostly because I didn't see a lot of the dead people.
You know how frustrating it can be. That's why you feel bad for him. You're like, he's just trying to, he's got one objective he's trying to do, and we've all been there where like all day long, you just can't seem to like succeed at this one simple task. No matter what. So he's cursed.
While they're voting on that, Nate, someone in the chat has been asking, Tailsco Fox has been asking, how do you feel to be a kill stealer but also escape with no guilt?
Maybe I didn't see them. Technically, the beard was the passenger.
Yeah, I think the beard
driving.
is
Okay.
driving with you. Yeah, you're the one behind the wheel though.
Well, the beard is accomplice.
He's a ghetto, yeah.
He's there.
Okay, being in the car does not make you... Does
An
it?
accomplice?
Does it?
I
You're not at all responsible for it, right?
I don't
He
think
didn't
so.
stop it.
I don't think passengers in the car are responsible for what the driver does unless
He wasn't
they
like, ooh, woo!
Yeah, are encouraging somebody. I don't know. That one is probably involuntary manslaughter anyway. It's dark. You're like in an escape situation. I'm assuming that's going to be considered you accidentally hit a person out in the woods where you wouldn't expect to find them.
Well, I
the
think
midst of a
the thing you may have learned about me from this is in a horror movie scenario, every man for himself. Like,
Just run faster than the slowest person.
if I can get away from Jason and you can't, that's on you. But also, statistically, in a horror movie, no one actually gets away because the person you think gets away
It's
at
true.
the end gets killed anyway. And
I
that's
would
how the
say
movie ends.
Jason's totally in the back seat of that car. He's like,
Yeah.
lurch up and get you as you're like getting on the
It's the
highway.
beard. The beard takes the beard
Oh,
off, and
that's
Jason's
good.
been wearing the beard.
I like that. It almost makes me sad we didn't film like an outro scene or something like that.
That's right.
Where like you're like, whoo, got away, and then the beard takes the beard off as Jason or something. Could have done it.
Do we have any last minute questions?
I'm gonna enter a poll to find out if Jason was the real victim,
All right.
and 60% said that yes, he is the real victim.
Sympathy for Jason Voorhees. Never thought I'd see the day.
There's also 39% that said no, so I want to know where that other 1% is. YouTube, I'm looking at you.
Well, they were the ones that were brutally killed by Jason at some point.
I also feel like we have probably the most important question of this entire live stream
Alrighty.
from Inverse Sky. If you were in AJ's situation at the end, but you knew your phone had enough charge to collect the daily reward and then call for help, would you collect your daily reward?
Yes.
I'd call for help first,
I was gonna say the order seems off. I'm like,
and then I'd kill time by playing a game.
That's a good way to do it. Yeah, that's what I would do. You're right.
I honestly might not. I might just try to crawl to somewhere that's not out in the open.
That would be good too. But what if you don't get service? You crawl a few feet away and you're like, oh no, my phone. You're like, crawl back into the middle of
So
like,
be it.
and then just be like, okay, well, I guess I have to wait here for Jason. But also, emergency services will reach me here where I'm easy to find.
I do just also feel like I have to call for help first. And then I feel like I would panic enough being like, what if for some reason they have to call me back, or I have to call a second time, or like something. I should probably not eat my battery collecting my daily reward.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but hear me out.
Probably.
What if you get on like Facebook Live or something? You like a live TikTok stream. Like,
Oh no.
hey y'all, it's your boy A Jizzle here. I broke my legs outside. Click subscribe. We're gonna live stream some Jason Voorhees cutting my head off.
That's a good way to get flagged.
I think that will get removed.
What
so
if he
it's a
doesn't?
Terrible.
Though? Maybe
use
you,
of your battery.
you do a let's play of Best Fiends. I'm gonna turn my screen cap now, and we're gonna play some Best Fiends together out in the woods while we wait for 911.
No.
Anyway.
Alright, it's an option.
It
If you're
is-
dying in the woods, just keep in mind you can always live stream yourself.
It is 6 o'clock, so
6 o'clock.
It is.
Time to go. All right.
And what we've just learned is that Nate and I have good self-preservation, and
I
AJ
care about the
will
internet.
Die in the woods playing
You know,
Best Fiends.
subscribers, click through. Regular
So,
content strategy.
If you would like to help AJ stay alive in the woods, please like and subscribe.
It's like, hit the like button, let YouTube know that I died in the woods today, and it was entertaining. 10 out of 10. Would watch the next video if he was alive to make one. Thank you all for joining us today. We will probably finish up some Choo Choo Charles next, or we'll try.
we'll see.
We'll
we
try.
might have a little too much to finish in 1 week, but we'll try.
Yeah, we'll blaze through what we can. Charles will eat us like 9 times. We'll see what happens.
right.
But yeah, thank you all again for your support. There is a new musical or 2 or 3 that are getting worked on, but we don't know in what order they're going to come out and even exactly when. So hopefully by next week we can actually give you finally a hit.
If
It's been
you
like a
want
month.
to have the most up-to-date information on what we're working on and how it's going, you can join our Patreon for $1. You can get behind-the-scenes reports that let you know what we're doing every week,
Every week.
all the time.
We update them all the time.
Yeah, we
Hey,
try.
it's your boy A Jizzle here trying to update you on what we're making right now. Yeah, but Patreon, the link is in the description below. We also sell our merch and stuff there, which we've been saying for months we're going to update, and we haven't done it yet.
We'll get around to it.
We'll get to it. We got some cool stuff that we're excited to put in that merch store. Okay, that's it for this week. Thank y'all again, and we'll see you next Friday. Beard salute! Woo!